I'd had the idea in my head for quite a number of years after I saw a television programme about women murderers. And I got the idea in my head, what set of circumstances could be so bad that they would cause a woman to commit murder? Because there are very few women murderers. Women tend to murder with crimes of passion, but this was a very cold, calculated, planned murder. And so I tried to think of what set of circumstances would be so bad that maybe I would murder somebody. When I wrote the book originally, I did it for my own pleasure. I'd always wanted to write a book, so I just thought, I'm going to write this book. I've got some time, and so I did it. But then once I'd done it, I thought I wasn't going to let anybody read it, but loads of people said to me, I want to read it. And the feedback was, you need to get this published, you should try and get it published. So I contacted a few agents, but not very many, but I got good feedback from them, but a lot of them said that it didn't fit very clearly into any one genre. So the book sort of crossed genres according to them, and they thought that it might be quite difficult to place initially with a publisher. And so I decided, well, I'm going to do it anyway. So I self-published it, and of course in the UK it really took off and got to #1 in the charts and stayed there for a month. So so then I got quite a lot of interest from publishers, but I was very happy with the self-publishing. It's difficult to say what it was about it that made it appeal specifically to women without giving too much away, of course, of the story. But I think that there are a number of different circumstances within the book that women would recognise. Not all of them, hopefully, because some of them are pretty grim, but there are all sorts of circumstances that women might recognise as either they've been in a similar situation or they know people who've been in that situation. And even the worst situation of all of them, I think that women will recognise there will be bits in there that they can actually understand and see, and I do believe that that's why it was so successful. Well, I think many of the problems experienced in the book, nearly all of the women in the book could have been the murderer, because in one way or another the victim did actually abuse in some way or other a number of women by the use of his power. He was a very wealthy man, he was in a position of great power, and that allowed him to treat people the way that he wanted to. And I think that the one message really is that all of these people were suffering in some way at his hands, or had witnessed elements of his personality that they thought wasn't quite right, but nobody actually said anything. And if there's one thing that I would like people to take away from it is, if something feels wrong to you, if there is some element of a relationship that feels wrong to you, then tell somebody. Because what happens to more than one character in the book is they get sucked into a situation that they find increasingly difficult to get out of. So it's all really about owning up to the fact early on that this isn't right, and not trying to constantly make excuses. Yes, I'll do my best. Okay, so muchas gracias por solo los inocentes. Un beso.